All right, headset. Hi everybody, we are back. And as you can see, we have ladies action for you here. Winner's side, 8-ball division. And we've got a battle right here between our two champions. That's Taylor Hansen racking the balls, all 16 years old of her. And she's the older sister of young Tristan, who you just saw play. And she, too, is also our newly crowned 10-ball champion. And she is playing Liz Lovely, who is our newly crowned 9-ball champion. And Liz is also the defending champion in the 8-ball division. So I think we've probably got the two best players out of the 70 women competing in the 8-ball right here, and this should be an excellent match. So here we go. Taylor breaking rack number 1. Race to 4 for the ladies, by the way. Oh, right in the side, and she whacked them too. Great opportunity here for Liz right out of the gate with a ball in hand and a fairly open table to break serve and get right on the board. Liz, you have ball in hand anywhere.
Oh, it is?
Liz wasn't aware of the recent rule change, even though it was in effect last year. But, you know, if you don't play that BCA Pool League rules all the time, you tend to forget the rule is now ball in hand anywhere with a foul on the break. And as we explained last night, the whole reason that that was instituted was simply to speed up play. Going to want to get that 3 ball after the 1, get those out of there. Accidentally moved the ball, no foul. Opponent's option to move it back as long as it didn't hit another ball. That's the cue ball foul only rule. Accidental movement of an object ball doesn't count as a foul unless it either hits another ball or any ball that you set in motion as a result of a shot comes back through the path originally occupied by the disturbed ball. But this looks pretty academic here. She's got just the last 3 solids in the kitchen and a wide open 8. Let's say this should be pretty academic from here. OB is the official cue of the U.S. Bar Table Championships. And once again, Kamui, the official tip right here of the U.S. Bar Table Championships. And we're also playing in the Kamui Arena. And we just cannot express enough how much we appreciate the loyalty and support of those two great companies. So thank you to Royce and Don and everybody at OB and Kyle and everybody at Kamui. Excuse me, not Kyle, John. I got my companies mixed up. Interesting that Liz broke from the side, but did hit the head ball. Usually the side break, you're going into the second ball, but she managed to pocket a ball. .59 is the only cluster on the table. She has shots on both groups. Going for the solids, because I think you can see from this camera angle, it looks like the 5 will go in the side. Now it won't go anywhere. I'm wondering if she intended to move that or not. But either way, she's going to have to make sure she gets that open, and there's a lot of that's going to depend on what angle she's got on the 2. She doesn't have an angle on the 2 to get to the 7 where she could drag it down and open that up. She's got to shoot the 3 in the side. Maybe come right at the 5 now. Once again, we've seen that happen several times during play, where the attempt to open up a cluster and the folks lose their focus just a little bit on the object ball. And I think in honor of these 2 women champions that we have in front of us here during this match, we're going to play some U.S. bar table women's trivia. So I got a couple of questions, and I'm pretty sure I even got the right answers this time, because I went up to the desk and had Bonnie checking the computer for me. But after this rack, we'll throw out the first question for you and give you that rack to think about it. And got a couple more here we'll try to do during this ladies match. Well, still got the 5-13 to deal with, and then right now she has, but well, it's either the 10 or the combination here. I actually don't think the 11-12 combination's a bad shot, because she can go right into the 13 with the cue ball. Still maybe have the 10 as insurance, and the 11 should stay out in space. She's also got another stripe there right on the rail. That's the 15 ball. Excuse me, that's the 14 ball to the right of the 7. But I like the combination here and go into the 13. Oh, beautifully done. Championship shot by a champion. She was looking to see if the 8 passed the 3. She has to shoot the 14 now. There's just no question about it. Come over for the 11. Does she have a pocket for the 13 past the 7 ball? That's the whole key right here. It looks from this camera angle that it will just slide by. It may have to be hit rather softly, but the whole issue there is whether the 8 passes the 3. If it doesn't, she's got to come to the other side of the 8 off the 13. And that would mean she'd have to play it with a little firmer stroke. It makes the pocket a little smaller. And of course, she could always kind of get the cue ball on the side rail and back cut the 13 to float over for the 8 in the same pocket. But either way, I think she'd like to be no more than a foot or two from the 13 ball here after the 10. Well, still a little distance, but as long as this passes, she's got natural shape on the 8. Just a high ball here. Nice shot. Get off the rail. Get off the rail. Good. Nice out. Really nice out there by Taylor. Okay. 1-1, we're back on serve. All right, here's your first trivia question. This is all based on women's history in the U.S. Bar Table Championship. So, the first question is, what year was the first time that there was a women's division in the U.S. Bar Table Championship? Again, the question is, what year did women begin playing in their own division in the U.S. Bar Table Championship? Answer after the rack. Not that it's a hint or anything, but prior to the answer to this question, women could enter the U.S. Bar Table Championships, but it was all one division, so they played with the men. They did not play against exclusively women, and there were usually only a handful, maybe 4 or 5 or so women that entered and played in the men's division for 2 or 3 years, and at that point CSI and Bad Boys decided that it was justified to go ahead and give them their own division where they could play against each other. I think the only requirement was they needed a minimum of 16 women to do so, and that did occur. So that's part of the question, is what year did they first start competing exclusively against women? This could very easily be a precursor to the women's 8-ball final. It would be no surprise to see both these ladies in the championship match. And I think it would be a surprise to not see either one of them in that match. A little bit too far for the 11 there, but it should be all right. She's got both side pockets for the 11. If she can pocket the 15 here and just maintain her angle on the 10. You can see straight in on the 11, and either side will yield a stop shot, and she'll have an 8-in straight. So needs to be pretty precise here with her position. She doesn't want to have to travel the cue ball from the 11 to the 8. Just wants to play a stop shot. It needs to go another 2 feet. No, it's not good enough. She's got to deal with all those solids down there to get on the 8. And it seems almost impossible to avoid them. The 11 won't go in the corner. So she's got to either hit one full in the face or try to graze one. She's kind of thin on this, so even if she draws it, I think she's going more to the 2 ball than the 6 ball. And what she's got to be careful is that the cue ball doesn't hit the right side of the 2 and hook her on the 8. Boy, she did a really good job with that shot to hit that 2 full. And let's see if she can come with a champion type shot here. Of course she can. Nice job by Liz Lovely. 2-1 lead and breaking in game number 4. Okay, Steve. Okay, Liz to break here in rack number 4. She leads 2-1 in the match over Taylor Hansen in a battle between our 2 newly crowned champions. Liz is the 9-ball champion. She won that yesterday. Taylor is the 10-ball champion. She won that 2 or 3 days ago. And Liz is the defending 8-ball champion, too. There was the second ball break. Much better than the last attempt. All the solids are in the middle of the table. All the stripes are up here at the foot end with one exception. That's the 11 up in the kitchen. Opening shot. She has her choice. She can play any type of combination on the hanging stripe, or she can start with the 6. But the solids play a little tough. It's all whether or not she could maybe sneak that 5 in off the stripe hanging in the corner. And the 7 possibly passes the 12. I'm not positive. It certainly goes in the side where the cue ball is, but this is where you make your money. You make the decisions that will lead you to victory. Hard to tell her angle on the 6 ball, so I think she may go ahead and cut the 12. There's really nothing wrong with this, as long as she winds up making sure she has a shot. Ooh, she did not make it, and I think she was too worried about holding the cue ball, going around those balls, so she wanted to hit it on the fat side to slow the cue ball down, and she did not do that. So the table is still open for Taylor. She can shoot either group. And as you can see, she really is forced to shoot the stripes. But it's actually probably the group she wants. And this is a big swing game here, because if Taylor can get out and tie it up, she'll be breaking in the 5th rack, and she'd also be breaking in the case game if it went that far. This is not as simple as it appears here. She's got to play very precise position on the 9 ball. I think she would have liked that to go a little further. Because you don't want to run into the 13. All you can do is push that into a position where it won't go. And I wonder if she can draw the cue ball, miss the 13, maybe hit the 8. Very good. But does this go, or does she have to play a combination? I think the 13 will pass. It looks pretty snug. She's giving it a good long look, as she should. Yeah, she had to cheat the pocket, and she over-cheated it. And now, of course, there's no issue with the 5 ball going for Liz. I don't think the 4 is going to give her too much trouble. It won't pass in the corner now, but the 7 lays really good to get on the 4 in the side as your ball before the 8. So take the 6-3-1 here or the 6-1-3, or she can do the 7-4 right now and then use the 1-3 as her 2 balls before the 8. That's very good. It's not straight in. She can bounce off the cushion right at the 1 ball. And if she's straight in on the 1, it's just a stop shot, and then it's 3 in the corner, 8 in the corner. Three to 1 for Liz Lovely. She's on the hill. And here comes the answer to our trivia question. What was the first year there was a full women's division in the U.S. Bar Table Championships? The answer is 2010. And in 2010, the women's division only was comprised of 8-ball and 9-ball. The men started playing 10-ball in 2008. But when the women's division was added in 2010, it consisted only of 8-ball and 9-ball. So your next question is, who won the 8-ball division and who won the 9-ball division in 2010 for the women in their very first year competing as their own group? Answer after the rack. dry break, unfortunately, from Taylor. If the 6 would go on the side, and I think it will, I might be inclined to start here with the 13, 11, 6, 7 combination. And if she wants the stripes, then the 11 ball and the 13 ball are going to give her trouble. She could start with the 2 if she wants solids and doesn't like that 3 ball combination. And of course, she can certainly start with the 6. You know, in second glance here, although that 11-7 is dead, shooting the 13 into it might give her a little bit of trouble if the 13 tied the 3 up. She can also eventually use the 5 to come down, play the 7 in the other pocket, which would then open up that pocket for the 3 and the 4, or come down for the 3 and try to move the 11. Several ways to go about clearing that pocket. It's a little bit thinner than she wanted. I think it's going to be okay. Sort of got away with running into the 5 there because the 5 will still pass. She's going to have to shoot the 3. Maybe she can make the 4. I don't think so, though. I would, if I could, I would go around the 11-7 here. If she can hold it with inside and move the 11, she just doesn't want the 11 to tie the 5 up. And once again, we see a ball missed when trying to run the cue ball into another ball to create a shot. Just lost focus on the object ball. Taylor with a big opportunity here, and she best take advantage of it. She's got to start with the 13 in the side. That's not a bad opening shot to have. Oh, don't tie that up. Those are the things you've got to be aware of. If you're gonna have to, if you have to run into another ball, you've got to take great care in knowing where it's going to go and adjust accordingly. If she felt that there was no way to avoid the 7 there, maybe a little more speed to get separation, but she's taken care of it nicely on that ball. Now every stripe has a pocket. She's looking at the 11. I can't say that I blame her. I think that's a good ball to play right here, because then all your other balls are in the kitchen and the 8 is right in front of the side, and you don't need a lot of cue ball movement to take care of your final 4 stripes. And shoot that stripe in the upper right corner right now, absolutely. Yeah, 12 comes straight up for the 9. Nice work. Well, Liz hanging the 3 ball wound up costing her the rack. And now I believe it's going to be Liz's break on the hill at 3-2. And here comes the answer to the trivia question. But I think I'm going to hold off on that just a second so we can do a little business here on the screen. Okay, trivia question answer. The question was, in 2010, the first year for the ladies division of 8 and 9 ball, who won? Well, the same lady won both divisions. It was Melissa Little, the Viper, the inaugural 8 and 9 ball champion, women's division, U.S. bar table. And I couldn't stop Liz in time. She actually had stripes in both corners. The rack should have had a solid and a stripe. I could not get her attention quick enough to stop her, so the opponent didn't say anything. We're just going to let that rack play. Usually if I can catch the player before they're about to hit the ball, I will ask them to stop and correct it. I just didn't want to do that as she was coming through the cue ball. And I can assure you that that happens countless times out on the other 39 tables. And it's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. But the balls didn't come apart well. And she's got really not much in the way of choices here. It's either got to be the 6 ball or the 11 ball. It's getting harder and harder now as each solid she pockets is adding to the difficulty of her ability to get through the rest of them. I think if she could play the 3 and come maybe 2 rails, you know, hit the short rail, hit just before the side pocket, actually 3 rails into the kitchen. She could use the 1 and the side to open the 5. And actually that's even better, a better position path to get exactly where she needed to go. Now she got to be careful. She does want to hit the 5 right on the nose, move it, and have the 4 on the side as the insurance ball. And that's exactly what she did. Superbly done by Liz. And she's a mere 2 solids and an 8 away from winning this match and sending arguably her toughest opponent to the B side with a long way to go. That was really a sporty shot there, cutting that 3 and going to the 1 the way she did. And she's going to be rewarded with a victory, 4-2. Good work, Liz Lovely. Defending 8-ball champion, takes out Taylor Hansen, sends her to the 1-loss side here in the 8-ball women's division of the 22nd U.S. Bar Table Championships. So that match went rather quickly. We're next due up at 1 o'clock. So Steven's going to take a look and see what we can put up for a replay for you. I don't know if we finished the one we had up before, but we'll get something up here for you to watch. And as soon as we know our players for 1 p.m., we'll let you know. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. You've been watching the 22nd U.S. Bar Table Championships live from the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. We'll be back.